I'm 34 female, married to 36 male. We got together right after college, married at 26, 2 kids, 8 male and 6 female. Before everything blew up, I worked in HR for a mid-sized logistics company. I liked it enough. Steady hours, break room gossip, casual Fridays, and the feeling that I still had something of my own outside mom life. Trouble started when I got chummy with Jared, a project analyst who sat 2 cubicles down. We clicked during a software rollout nightmare. Late coffees, venting about upper management, inside jokes about the warehouse guys. The emotional affair label feels dramatic to me, but that's what every site calls 5 months of daily texting, Snapchat streaks, and sharing playlists. No flirting inside the building where anyone could screenshot an email chain, just cute memes and "wish you'd seen this" messages that picked up after the kids were in bed. My husband found the thread one Sunday before church while using my phone to order bagels. He said the timestamps told him everything. 11 p.m., 1 a.m., his wife laughing into the pillow while he slept. There were no nudes, no "leave your wife," but he still treated it like a bomb. He demanded I quit. I argued I could block Jared, HR could move me. He said quitting was non-negotiable if I wanted a marriage at all, so I put in notice that Monday and walked away from a decade of work. Counseling started right after. The therapist pushed forgiveness, radical transparency, all the buzzwords. My husband took them literally, Life 360 on my phone, Google timeline reports mailed to his inbox every dawn, keyboard logger on the family laptop. I was allowed grocery runs, school drop-offs, soccer practice, piano lessons, then straight home. He moved a spare baby monitor to the kitchen so he could listen from the office via an app. I hated it, but kept telling myself this was the cost of restoration. Meanwhile, he froze me out. No more random flowers on Thursdays, no hand on my back while we sat on the sofa. Intimacy disappeared entirely. He said touch reminded him of betrayal. I tried lingerie, wine, exactly 4 minutes, in the microwave brownies. Nothing. Nights turned into scrolling under separate blankets. I felt like the live-in help. Fast forward 10 months. I'd done every workbook, every podcast, but the vibe in the house still felt like probation. All my friends had drifted because I kept canceling mom's nights. He needs me home. I'd lost weight from stress and cabin fever, and in that headspace I told myself I deserved at least conversation that didn't involve field trip forms. In the meantime, an old coworker, Liam, messaged me on LinkedIn about a reference check. We chatted professionally, then shared a few jokes. I justified it because we never worked together at the same time. He left 6 months before Jared drama, so in my mind it wasn't recycling an AP. Messages hopped to Instagram when he sent a funny reel. We stayed PG, but the frequency ramped fast. Good morning texts, lunchtime voice notes, late night vent sessions about how spouses don't appreciate us. Internally, I kept score. Jared chats lasted 5 months. Liam and I were only on week 6. I told myself that meant I had learned something. Ridiculous, I know. Still, I noticed I was smiling again. Someone asked how my day was instead of handing me a chore list and nitpicking through a list of my whereabouts the previous day. The kids saw me laugh and asked if I was okay because mommy doesn't laugh like that now. Sex at home was still 0. My therapist said ask directly. I did. My husband said, I can't be vulnerable with a partner who might be chatting up the next Jared. That stung because I actually was. Resentment hit hard. He used my failure as a shield to never examine his own distance. In the middle of that spiral, Liam suggested meeting just for coffee. I countered with quick hug, no coffee, hotel parking lot so nobody sees. I hear how insane that reads. I dropped the kids at school, texted my husband a selfie, headed to Aldi, and drove to a budget hotel off the interstate. We ended up inside because the lot had construction crews hanging around. We went as far as heavy making out. Clothes half off, maybe 3 steps from sex. I chickened out. Guilt flooded when I pictured my daughter's Lego bracelet on my wrist. I told Liam I needed to go. He was disappointed but said okay. I thought I'd dodged the worst. Turns out my husband was monitoring my whereabouts. He used Find My to see my phone parked at the hotel. He waited on the couch. When I got home, he asked one question. Anything interesting at Aldi? I froze, and that was enough. We had a shouting match, and I let out all my frustrations of him mistreating me all these months. He called his lawyer the next morning. Papers landed 2 weeks later. We still share the house while sorting finances, but we communicate by spreadsheet, grocery totals, soccer fees. Kids know something's off, but not the hotel detail. He told them, "Mom and Dad need space." Part of me is furious. If he had let go of the leash, maybe I wouldn't have sought attention elsewhere. Another part of me whispers that I chose this, twice. But most of me just worries about my own future. How I'll afford rent, how I'll restart a career with a resume gap that screams, "fired for scandal," even though I quit. I don't know what I'm going to do. Final update, post-divorce reality. Divorce finalized last month. Settlement split the assets 60-40 on paper, but he kept the house, so it feels like 90-10. He argued stability for the kids. The judge agreed. I have the minivan, a small apartment 15 minutes away, and alimony payments since I'm underemployed. I work part-time at a medical office answering phones. It covers utilities and my phone plan. The support check circles straight back to him for the kids' expenses. Custody is 70-30. I get Wednesday overnights plus every other weekend. The first time they came to my apartment, they looked around like tourists. My son asked where the game console was. I told him Daddy kept it because the TV stand wouldn't fit in my place. We play board games instead. They're polite, sweet even, but by Sunday afternoon, they're packing bags before I remind them. I started seeing a guy named Travis. We met on an app for single parents, though he doesn't have kids and says they're not in his 5-year plan. He likes brunch spots and hiking, things I never had time for. He doesn't ask about my past beyond rough divorce, huh? I keep it vague. He's affectionate, which I crave, but avoids sleepovers when the kids are here. I pretend that's fine. Sometimes I drop them off Monday morning, come back to my empty apartment, and scroll through old family photos until my phone dies. People tell me I should focus on the kids, join PTA, build stability. What they don't see is how heavy the guilt feels when I walk into soccer games and my ex is already there. Snacks organized, lawn chairs unfolded. The kids run to him first. I hover, waiting for them to remember I exist. They don't. Not without some push from my ex. I miss my old life. Even the boring dinners where nobody talked. I miss the certainty that the house key on my ring actually opened a door labeled home. Now every choice feels like a guess. Career? Dating? Moving closer to my sister out of state? I don't trust myself to choose right. Part of me thinks I don't deserve another good chapter. Another part fears I'll never get one, even if I do. That's where I'm stuck. Wanting comfort, resenting that I lost it, worrying that whatever comes next will just be another thing I ruin. If anyone's navigated this mess and found a way forward, I'm open to hearing how, because right now everything feels like standing in a hallway with all the doors locked from the outside. Comments: after my emotional affair, my husband said he forgave me, but it just turned into this control game. Every move I made was questioned, every phone ping was suspicious. I was putting in all this effort, and he acted like I was still one step away from blowing it up again. Eventually I did. Not even because I wanted to, but because it was like, why am I bending backwards if nothing will ever be enough? You're not alone in feeling stuck between guilt and resentment. It's a common tactic used by betrayed spouses to abuse us waywards. My ex-husband was the same. After I came clean, he slapped down 100 rules and kept me under watch, but then shut down emotionally. No affection, no connection, just this constant silent punishment. And I broke again and ended up chatting with someone new. It's like I was so desperate to feel seen by someone. Finally, I mustered up the courage and left that pause. I get where you're coming from, even if it's messy. I get how you feel about the kids, too. My divorce went similar. My ex got the house, primary custody, and now the kids act like visiting me is some obligation. It hurts because you remember being their whole world, and now you're just the weekend parent who takes them to the movies. I thought having a new situationship would fill that emptiness, but it just makes me miss what I destroyed even more. Hang in there. You're not the only one trying to figure out where to go next.